Hi, Jakob, and this is Christmas in Unisport episode number 11, where we're here in Herzogenaurach in Germany for a bit of a history lesson, because today I'm going to take you through the history of Adidas and Puma. Well, it all started here in Herzogenaurach in 1924, where the two brothers Adolf and Rudolf Dassler started the Gebrüder Dassler Schuhfabrik in the basement of their mother's laundry factory. And business was pretty good.
Das Leben ist ein Karussell.
Unfortunately, things went sour between the two brothers, because during the World War II and an Allied bomb raid, Adolf and his wife went into a bomb shelter where Rudolf and his family were already sitting. And there, Adi said, referencing the Allies, "The dirty bastards are back again." But unfortunately, Rudolf thought that he meant Rudolf and his family and got really angry at his brother. So in 1948, the two brothers split up the Gebrüder Dassler Schuhfabrik, creating two companies of their own. Rudolf created Rudolf Dassler, but eventually renamed it into Puma, as we know today. And a year after, in 1949, Adolf, Adi as people called him, created Adidas, short for Adi Dassler. And it really meant that henceforth Herzogenaurach would be known as the town of the bent necks. Why? Simply because when people met you, they would look down on your shoes to see what brand it was before deciding whether they wanted to speak to you or not. And today, I'm wearing Pumas. True story. Now, Adi Dassler went on to do his thing, and in 1954 he invented the first pair of football boots with screw-in studs that actually helped the German national team win the World Cup, simply because they had an advantage playing on the wet pitch. So in 1979, Adidas introduced the Copa Mundial, which still lives on today and is probably recognized as one of the all-time classics of the game. Now, although I'm standing in front of Adidas here in the center of Herzogenaurach, recently they actually moved their headquarters to the outskirts of the city, where they have a huge campus with their headquarters, which is exactly like Puma, because Rudolf decided to move his company to the other side of the river Aurach, really splitting the city into two and setting up his headquarters there. And speaking of the headquarters, this is exactly where I am, the Puma headquarters in Herzo, although this is the more modernized version, it has to be said. Anyway, since Rudolf split from his brother, we have really seen some really good stuff. Among them, the Puma King, of course, which is also classified as one of the classics of the game and was worn by Eusebio and Pele themselves. Now, speaking of Pele and the Puma King, there was a funny little incident just before the kickoff in the 1970 World Cup final, where Pele went up to the referee just before he blew his whistle and asked if he could tie his boots. And of course, he could. He was a star. And then, because the TV cameras were already rolling, the whole world got a super close-up of Pele's Puma Kings. Pretty cool story. But then, as they say, the rest is history. But to think that two brothers could start a small company 90 years ago that would go on to become among the biggest sports brands in the world, now that's a funny thought. And the coolest thing is that they're basically still located in each other's backyard here in Herzogenaurach. Now that was the history lesson for today, because I think I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day here at the Puma headquarters, and I'll see you guys tomorrow here in Christmas in Unisport. Signing off, cheerio. Jolter, where you at? Cool story, bro! Cool story! Awesome.